You always hear about Microsoft and Apple. What about IBM?
Join us on WatchMojo's YouTube channel.
We publish new top 10 lists every day.
So instead of waiting for other channels to update, subscribe to WatchMojo and suggest ideas for videos you want to see.
International Business Machine Solutions, or IBM for short, is known for their contributions to technology and computing. But do you know the top 10 facts that every IBM fan should know? Buckle up and grab your nearest IBM 5100 portable computer and let's jump right in. Number 15. The electric typewriter. Don't you hate it when you're writing a DBQ and you forget to save your work? Well, imagine not having the option to save at all. That was the fate of 20th century AP students before IBM came along. In 1935, IBM released the first electric typewriter, the Electric Model 01, which came with some innovative features. It had the ability to save your work and allowed its users to edit their files and fix their own errors. Number 14. IBM's changes to the American workforce. Do you like your workplace today? Chances are, if you have a job and live in a country with access to YouTube, it may be thanks to IBM that you don't hate your job. Did you know IBM was one of the first companies to use the 40-hour workweek and hire disabled workers? Number 7. Maybe you've heard of this technological legal mumbo-jumbo called the Social Security Act, but you probably don't know much about it. That's fine, neither do we. IBM actually helped the United States government store data on all American employees and assign Social Security numbers. That's pretty neat. Number 3. Did you know IBM was originally called Computer Tabulating Recording Company? CTR's evolution into IBM marks a golden age for this newly branded company. IBM, as the name suggests, broadly refers to all machines. This name best represented IBM's new direction under the new leadership of Thomas J. Watson.
Under his leadership, IBM profits soared to $9 million.
Number 1. IBM's involvement in the Holocaust.
What a lot of people don't know is that IBM helped perpetuate the Holocaust. That's not to say the Holocaust wouldn't have happened without IBM, but IBM certainly helped accelerate the process.
Now we welcome Professor Dr. PhD Sean Barry.
There you go. In the late 1800s, IBM started producing the hollow-earth punch cards, which were used to store data about individuals through a coded system of punched holes. These were used to record people's marital status, religion, age, background, occupation, criminal backgrounds, and several other aspects of a person's life. The IBM punch card was used in 1890 United States Census to collect such information. The cards worked like a Scantron-type grid. Punched-out sections would indicate a person's
Identifiable.
features. For example, if a specific spot of a person's card indicates marital status, then a hole there would indicate them being married, while the absence of a hole would indicate their bachelor status.
It was thanks to these punch cards that Nazi Germany could so effectively persecute the Jews during the Holocaust. The punch cards were used to track down Jews easily, as they gave Nazi Germany an effective way to find who Jews were and where they lived. The punch cards also allowed Hitler to fully identify the Jewish people. To the Nazis, Jews were not only those who actively practiced Judaism, but also those of Jewish descent, regardless of assimilation, intermarriage, or conversion. Since the punch cards recorded information on family heritage, the Nazis could identify Jewish blood as far as 3 or 4 generations back, allowing them to more effectively find Jews.
The punch cards helped the Nazis carry out the Holocaust with minimum German resistance. Hitler did not go after all Jews at the same time. He used the information he had at his disposal from IBM's punch cards to target certain groups of Jews, often those who anti-Semitic Germans would feel the least connected to. For instance, Hitler began by enslaving wealthy Jews who had recently immigrated from Eastern Europe. He was only able to find these specific Jews thanks to the data recorded on punch cards collected during the census.
The efficiency of the punch cards provided by IBM accelerated the Holocaust, so much so that if IBM had not been in trade relations with Germany, perhaps the Holocaust would not be at the scale that we understand it to be at today.
Perhaps the most frightening fact about IBM's involvement in the Holocaust is that IBM actively reached out to Hitler to make money from his needs. When Hitler comes into power in January of 1933, IBM does not see an evil dictator, but rather a walking paycheck. Hitler has the potential to become one of their largest global customers, second only to the United States government. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil was their policy. IBM officials were constantly in Berlin to monitor the activities of their German subsidiary, Didnt, and to ensure that the parent company in New York would not be cut out of any of the profits that Nazism presented. When American legislation made such contact illegal, IBM moved their dealings to their Swiss office, providing the New York office with continuous information about German development.
And now it's time for the Context Corner.
IBM was created in 1911, right in the middle of the Progressive era. The Progressive movement aimed to eliminate corruption in business and government. To this end, progressives often targeted political machines and their bosses. During this era, news reporters called muckrakers would expose scandal within government and business with the purpose of inspiring change. The Progressive era lasted from around 1890 to 1920, near the end of World War I. While the Progressive movement aimed to eliminate scandal, IBM's involvement in the Holocaust shows how corrupt the business was. Such scandal reveals how IBM's actions do not fit with the progressive movement it was born in.
Obviously, the most ambitious one in this dynamic duo was IBM, for they sought out business with Germany more than Germany did with them. It seems it's time for the mystery document. What is this? It seems to be a letter from Thomas J. Watson from IBM to Adolf Hitler.
Before leaving Berlin, I wish to express my pride in and deep gratitude for the high honor I received through the order with which you honored me, valuing fully the spirit of friendship which underlay this honor. I assure you that in the future, as in the past, I will endeavor to do all in my power to create more intimate bonds between our two great nations. My wife and my family join in best wishes for you. Thomas J. Watson, International Business Machines.
The small inference is that Watson is kissing up to Hitler to impress him so that they can become business partners.
On the other hand, the big inference was that IBM was economically tied to Germany. IBM actively reached out to Hitler for the sake of profit and profit alone. Oh, there's another document in here. Look at that. This one's to Thomas J. Watson from Ilse Meyer.
The literal info is a German Jew is asking Watson for help finding a job.
The small inference is that it shows how there's a complexity to the situation. One might think that Watson is anti-Semitic because of how he helped Hitler, but the reality is that he did not hate Jews. This source shows how he probably helped Jews at some point, or at least wasn't openly anti-Semitic. Otherwise, a Jew wouldn't be asking him for help. The big inference here is that it shows how Nazi Germany made use of IBM's punch cards to store data, especially since the source makes reference to the Hollerith punching machine.
While IBM officials themselves were not Nazis, they sought to associate for Nazis for the sake of profit and profit alone, with little to no moral qualms. Although IBM should be honored for its contribution to progressive workforce reforms, it should also be held accountable for its active role in perpetrating the Holocaust. Additionally, IBM's actions in the Holocaust parallel the actions of many businesses today when they put profits before moral responsibility. For instance, the once popular site Facebook is known to collect intensive data on all of its users in order to supposedly customize their feeds and personalize their experience based on their interests. Facebook sells this data to third-party companies in order to make a profit, similar to how IBM helped Hitler in order to make money.
Another company guilty for using similar tactics is Google. Most websites earn revenue through the placement of advertisements throughout their website. The most popular advertisement provider is Google themselves. Google provides users with advertisements based on their own personal interests, age, and other private information. Although Google's tactics to make advertisements more appealing to users may seem better to said users since they would be seeing ads they were interested in, it is in reality just a way to sell more products to consumers. The way that Google and other similar technology and information-based companies abuse their access to this private information as a way to optimize their means of making profits is similar to the way IBM bypassed American legislation in order to make money off of Nazi Germany's needs.
Lastly, Apple uses comparable tactics to produce their products at a cheap price. Apple is famous for selling millions of iPhones a year, but something that might not be known as well is that Apple actually uses sweatshops to produce their products at a cheaper price than normal. This is similar to how IBM put profits before moral responsibilities in helping the Nazis, because Apple is endangering the lives of human beings simply to make money.
In conclusion, in order to prevent gross exploitation of common civil liberties, regulation must be put upon data census recording companies and other industries to help maintain common egalitarian values in society.